Aesop's fables with my occasional little interpretations. Here are some quotes. Look at which way the wind blows before you commit yourself. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Be happy. Be happy with what you have. Be happy. Be happy with what you have. The injury we do and the one we suffer are not weighed on the same scales. The injury we do and the one we suffer are not weighed on the same scales. The injury we do and the one we suffer are not weighed on the same scales. Outside show is a poor substitute for inner worth. My interpretation of this is that if you need to show how great you are, then are you truly great? Question mark. Outside show is a poor substitute for inner worth. Showing off does not mean that you have good inner worth. In fact, it mainly means the opposite. Those who cry the loudest are not always the ones who hurt the most. My interpretation is that it's easy to see the ones reaching out than it is to see the ones closing themselves in. Those who suffer the most cry the least. Those who suffer the most cry the least. My interpretation is they are used to the pain so much that it no longer phases them in a noticeable way. It's much like a scar, but it still hurts. Please all, and you will please none. I did not write an interpretation for this, but as somebody who constantly wants to please people, I really relate with this sentiment. One thing that I think we don't learn as children is that we don't need to please everybody. We don't even really need to please the people we love. We should please ourselves and be ourselves without being too rude. And the people who are already pleased by us will come. And if they leave, so be it. If we did nothing wrong, then we have no control. Better be wise by the misfortunes of others than by your own. Sorry if these are a bit confusing. It is Old English. At least that's what I think. interpretation of this one was learn from others' mistakes so you don't make the same ones. Observe more. Give assistance, not advice in crisis. I was reading Aesop's fables, and I flipped to the book and found this story, and it rang true with something that was happening in my life. So that's what inspired me to make this video. I will now read the actual fable. A boy was bathing in a river and got out of his depth and was in great danger of being drowned. A man who was passing along the road heard his cries for help and went to the river's side and began to scold him for being so careless as to get deep into the water, but made no attempt to help him. "Oh, sir," cried the boy, "please help me first and scold me afterwards." And my thoughts, why scold when you can help? Not much is done for them but shame. And is it worth the confidence you get? Is it? Is it? No. Give assistance, not advice, in a crisis. Advice is for the curious person. But if someone isn't asking for it, don't give it to them. There is no such thing as a secret. This is not one of Aesop's fables. This is my own quote, if you could say. Somebody's probably already thought of this. I'm just saying it because it came to my mind. There is no such thing as a secret. Did that blow your mind? Now I will read to you some of his actual fables instead of quotes. The Boy and the Nettles. A boy was gathering berries from a hedge when his hand was stung by a nettle. Smarting with the pain, he ran to tell his mother and said to her between his sobs, "I only touched it ever so lightly, mother." "That's just why you got stung, my son," she said. "If you had grasped it firmly, it wouldn't have hurt you in the least." And my guess was, excuse my French, don't half-ass things. Alright. And I don't mean the kind of ass like a donkey. Alright. The Flies and the Honey Pot. A number of flies were attracted to a jar of honey which had been overturned in the housekeeper's room, and placing their feet in it, ate greedily. Their feet, however, became so smeared with the honey that they could not use their wings, nor release themselves, and were suffocated. Just as they were expiring, they exclaimed, "Oh, foolish creatures that we are! For the sake of a little pleasure, we have destroyed ourselves." Darn it, I was so close to actually saying that line successfully. But the quote is, "Pleasure bought with pain hurts." My interpretation of that is when you do something pleasurable or you give in, how come you expected? You're a lot more upset than when you go into something expecting it to already be hard. And in the end, I think you're happier. There's probably a lot more to interpret from that, but that's what I get. This is the last fable, and I think one of his most popular ones. The Bear and the Two Travelers. Two men were traveling together when a bear suddenly met them on their path. One of them climbed up quickly into a tree and concealed himself with the branches. The other, seeing that he must be attacked, fell flat on the ground, and when the bear came up and felt him with his snout and smelt him all over, he held his breath and feigned the appearance of death as much as he could. The bear soon left him, for it is said he will not touch a dead body. When he was quite gone, the other traveler descended from the tree, and I do not know this word, so I apologize, and jocularly inquired of his friend what it was the bear had whispered in his ear. He gave me some oopsie, I said that wrong. He gave me this advice. I was too busy trying to do the stupid accent that I didn't actually focus on the words. He gave me this advice, his companion replied. Never travel with a friend who deserts you at the approach of a danger. Misfortune tests the sincerity of friends. My interpretation: a friend that only wants to be there for the good times is not a true friend at all. Friends are meant to be there in the good and the bad. The same is even more true when it comes to a relationship. Usually in a relationship, you're kind of signing an official contract that you're going to be with that person no matter what emotion they're feeling, as long as it is not extremely hurtful to you.